Good day, everyone. The title of this chapter is all about leisure and the experience society. So, at the end of this chapter, the learning outcomes are understand, search for experiences, relate experience, imagination, and meaning, define and explain spiritual experiences and leisure, understand mountain climbing as extreme sports and experiences, explain spiritual experiences and leisure, understand leisure and search for identity, understand our we seek society. Bible principles. During the Feast of Tabernacles, Jews thought about the Exodus. They erected tents to get away from the hubbub of everyday life to think about how good God had been to them in the past. The focus of my discussions are, first, search for experience. Second, experience, imagination, and meaning. So let's proceed to introduction. Ang focus natin ngayon is the concept of leisure. Ano nga ba yung concept of leisure? Ang concept of leisure is malawak siya and mahirap siyang explain. Sabi nga, ang leisure is kailangan mo muna siyang ma-experience para nasabi mo talaga na nag-e-exist ito. On this chapter, our focus is yung tinatawag nating key motivating factor for leisure. Yung key motivating factor for leisure is para mag-participate yung group of individual sa tinatawag nating leisure activities. And yung key motivating factor na yun is yung experience. The experience can be explained scientifically in psychophysiological terms. Kapag sinabi nating psycho, what satisfy the mind? Ano ba yung mga bagay na nakakapag-satisfy ng ating mga isip? Kapag naman physiological terms, what satisfy us physically? Karamihan kasi ng tao ngayon, ang word na experiences is word beyond description. So, ibig sabihin wordless. But sa mga wiser people, maaari sabihin nila na ito ay tungkol sa feeling or karanasan ng isang tao. And according to Jacob 2002, prevalent sa Western culture ang pagiging experience society. Ibig sabihin, mas pinipili ng mga karamihan na mag-spend ng kanilang money sa experience or sa mga leisure activity over the traditional social processes and products. Bakit kaya? So, may relate natin ito sa kasalukuyan natin generation. Halimbawa, yung mga millennials, ang fashion ng mga millennials ngayon ay ini-ignite nila yung pagiging tinatawag nating experience society kaysa yung mga traditional na pagkakagastusan. Ang characteristic ng mga millennials is sila ay more on willing to spend money on leisure activity or memorable experience rather than expend their money on product and materials. Yun yung trend ngayon. As part of hospitality and tourism, or as a field tayo ng hospitality and tourism, kailangan natin na maintindihan yung na hindi lang about sa products yung kailangan nating ibigay. It's all about the totality of everything. Kaya natin mag-provide ng good experience sa ating mga stakeholders or customers or consumer. Then next, sumang-ayon din nga si Pine and Gilmore tungkol sa nabanggit ni Jacob sa kanilang work experience sa economy. Na nagwo-work sa larangan ng teatro at business on stage, sinasabi nila na ngayon ang ekonomiya daw is dinadrive ng tinatawag nating experience economy. Ito yung pinaka-predominant commodity ngayon. Halimbawa na lang yung mga nauusong K-pop ngayon, yung ibang tao, they are willing to spend their money to be there sa concert ng mga idol nila. And then, yung mga tao kasi or most of people, they are willing to spend their money on leisure activity or mga memorable experiences rather than spend their money on product and materials. So, ang nagiging implication nito sa atin, lalo-lalo na nasa field tayo ng hospitality and tourism industry, kailangan natin magbigay ng napakalaking value sa experience na nararanasan ng nagko-consume ng service natin. Sabi nga ni Jensen, isang marketing gurus, hindi lamang good product yung binebenta. This is not work anymore. Kailangan, dun sa product kasi is nakakakita ng entertainment or kasiyahan yung mga tao. So, lagi natin tatandaan or i-take note bilang tayo ay magiging future part na tinatawag nating hospitality and tourism industry. Since nasa field tayo ng hospitality and tourism industry, dapat nakakapagbigay tayo sa mga tao na kagaya ng mga experiences na ito. Sumasagot sa mga things to do before they die. Pag nabigay natin yan sa mga tao na ganyang service, this will equate to a generating money for our country. Example na lang din nito is yung sa Korea, di ba? Boom na boom sa mga tao yung Korea kasi nabibigay nila yung mga gustong ma-experience ng mga tao. Kagaya niyan, itong nasa first 20 things to do before you die. In September 2003, yung BBC television survey, sinurvey nila yung mga British people on what they felt or they must do in their lifetime. Mostly sasagot nila is all about adventure, exploration, exhilarating, and risky activities, and visiting famous tourist destination featured strongly. Ang desire ng tao para ma-engage sa tinatawag nating leisure activity ay nakadepende at naaapektuhan ng mga sumusunod. First is depend on what they have seen on television, heard on the radio, read about in the press, seen on the movies, or found on in the internet. Second, experiencing action, wonders of nature, and magnificent landscape. Para mas maunawaan natin yung konsepto ng experience, mag-start muna tayo sa pinagmulan nito, which is yung brain or yung utak. May tinatawag tayong imagination process. Ito yung pagpuproduce ng mga meaning ng mga bagay-bagay sa paligid mo. Ngayon, ang meaning, ito yung preconditions for experiences. Kung di ka nag-i-imagine or wala kang nagagawa sa mga bagay-bagay, hindi ka makaka-experience ng something pag wala kang meaning. Nakakakita ka ng isang bagay na wala namang value sa'yo, so wala kang emotion. Since meron kang imagination combines with meaning, nakakapag-create ka ng experience sa utak mo. Kaya nakabase ang experience sa imagination and meaning na asa utak natin. Yung implication nito sa field natin when in terms of hospitality and tourism industry, yung leisure purposes is kailangan makapagbigay ka ng quality experience para makapag-invest or mas lalo pang mag-invest yung mga taong asa lugar ninyo. Sabi nga nila, people are willing to pay for experiences when in terms of business. In entertainment industry naman, pwede din tayo dito. Halimbawa, ang ginagawa ng producers, nagbibigay sila ng spectacular or kamangamangha or meaningful experience para makapag-encourage or to capture market share.
Extreme sports and experiences. One physical demonstration of the experience society is the growth in extreme sports, which provide adventure, risk, exhilaration, and near ultimate death-defying experiences. Extreme sports are about individuality, higher and higher levels of achievement, redefining performance boundaries, and the personal satisfaction that comes from trying your best. Extreme sports deliver a sense of accomplishment, whether you establish a new level of ability or simply challenge yourself while having a great time. Extreme sports are one of the recreational activities that you can do during your leisure time. It is a kind of activity that requires a lot of courage because you need to take risks to be able to experience it. These are extraordinary activities na pwede mong gawin during leisure na nakakapagbigay din ng relaxation at enjoyment. Since these activities are extraordinary, malaki ang naibibigay nitong sense of accomplishment sa isang tao dahil isa din itong malaking challenge para sa taong gumagawa nito. Extreme sports are about gravity, ingenuity, and technology. Gravity is the force that pulls climbers off rock faces, skiers down slopes and off cliffs, hang gliders towards the ground, and water downstream. Gravity makes warm air rise above cold, drives water to settle at the lowest available spot to create lakes and seas, creates the swirling mass of atmosphere that drives the winds. So, ang extreme sports are about gravity na dahilan kung bakit nagagawa ng mga tao ito. Ingenuity dahil ang extreme sports kailangan din ng creativity at brilliance upang magawa. At technology through the facilities na ginagamit para magawa ang mga activities under extreme sports. So here are some examples of extreme sports: paragliding, barefoot water skiing, and mountain climbing. Enthusiasts of extreme sports are prepared to travel. Sports tourism caters, for example, for those training for triathlons or seeking out the strongest waves, whether for surfing or kite surfing, or exploring new islands and the deepest caverns. It is widening the range of destinations and changing the face of some holiday resorts. These adventurers have also spawned an industry of new lifestyles, new sports clothing, which was burgeoned in the past few years, and new foods and drinks for those aspiring to greater levels of fitness, endurance, and health. Extreme sports are also a way for trainings under the sports tourism. Through these adventurers, nagkakaroon ng new lifestyles, new sports clothing na nakadepende sa kung anong extreme sports, at new foods and drinks kung saan nakadepende naman sa health and fitness ng mga taong gumagawa ng extreme sports. Also, through extreme sports, nagkakaroon ng ibang identity yung isang destination na hindi lang pang sightseeing kundi para sa different extreme sports activities. Crossing the Arctic on foot and sledge, sailing around the world single-handed, diving to record labels in the deepest seas, and other great feats of skill and courage leave adventurers with the problem of what next to conquer. The sky seems limitless, reaching the highest altitude, circling the world in a balloon, floating in the air, falling out of aircraft and opening parachutes at the last possible moment, jumping off high bridges attached to an elastic rope, and other hair-raising adventures continue to be invented. Since extreme sports require skill and courage, some adventurers na nakagawa na ng ibang activities ay mas challenge pa nila ang sarili to a next level. That's why a lot of hair-raising extraordinary adventures are still continued to be invented. The ultra-extreme sport is base jumping, described by most commentators as the most dangerous extreme sport in the world and illegal in America. Sky surfing, skydiving with a board attached to your feet, and surfing through the air is the second most dangerous. Quicker than free falling, the danger is in being struck by the board when it is released or getting the board tangled with your cute. The term base is an acronym for buildings, antenna tower, span, earth. Base jumpers leap from objects which fall under the categories base represents. The Skydiver's Handbook suggests that this kind of jumping can be traced back 900 years, but modern base jumping is believed to have started in 1978. Popular extreme sports: barefoot water skiing, ballooning, bungee jumping, caving through a labyrinth of tunnels underground, free diving, swimming into the deepest reaches of the seas, in some cases to below 400 feet, mountain boarding using a hybrid skateboard or snowboard, whitewater rafting, and wakeboarding, a relatively new extreme sport combining the skills used in water skiing, surfing, windsurfing, skateboarding, and snowboarding into one extreme boat-towed sport. Climb every mountain. Mountains, and the need to climb them because they are there, has always captured the dreams and imaginations of intrepid adventurers. Conquering Mount Everest was one of the extreme feats, extreme experiences of all time. Mountain climbing is also considered as extreme sports because not all people have the courage and strength, and some have fear of heights, and Mount Everest, known as the highest mountain in the world, is one of the extreme mountain climbing experience. Although it has since been climbed by many mountaineers, there still remains a sense of awe wonder surrounding Everest. Not surprisingly, the Nepalese consider this mountain sacred, known locally as Sagarmatha, Mother Goddess of the Sky. The romance of that first climb, coinciding with the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, and the climbs by men and women to the top of the highest mountain, captures our imagination and spirit of adventure. K2, the second highest mountain in the world, is said to be the deadliest, the most difficult to climb. K stands for Karakoram and 2 for the second peak in this range of mountains. Next to Mount Everest is K2, which is the second highest mountain and is located in the part of Pakistan. It is believed that this mountain is harder to climb than Mount Everest. Climbing psychology Jeff Potter thinks that climbers have a repeating personality syndrome, a desire for constant change to create excitement. In the mountains, they yearn for home. At home, they find life dull and routine. It means that every after climb, mas nagiging determined pa sila to climb another mountain. They continue to challenge themselves because it brings them excitement and satisfaction, and mountain climbing has become part of their lives. They enjoy those times they spend in the mountains than just being at home. So here's a picture of the second highest mountain, K2. So next, spiritual experiences and leisure. Religious searchings, revivals, and pilgrimages have existed for thousands of years. Those well known today include pilgrimages to the Holy Land, to Mecca, and to Lourdes. There are also sacred places throughout the world, places with powerful meanings that visitors and tourists want to visit. We are already familiar with religious travels, wherein a person or a group of people travels in the purpose of religion. And most of the time, travels like this has different impact on people, because sometimes just visiting sacred places will also make you relax or gives you peace of mind. It gives a different sense of spirituality to a person. Often, the past and present merge with visitors' expectations of greater insights, new life, or healing of mind and body to give life-enhancing experiences. Leisure can, after all, be what we want to do in our time for leisure. Just one of many examples which could fit into a leisure category of a specialist holiday or spiritual tourism, and which links to the past, is founded in one of the beliefs of ancient Greece. As mentioned, nakakapagbigay ito ng healing for the mind and body, and it can also bring change and enhance your life after the travel. It can also help you to have a stronger faith. This kind of travel is already known even in the past.
Hello, my Chrizel Luzon here, and I'm the third reporter for this chapter. Leisure and a search for identity. Some fortunate people find life satisfaction in their work and are able to identify themselves in terms of their occupation, be it as an author, a secretary, a long-distance driver, a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, or whatever. There are people na mas nakikilala nila yung sarili nila once na nagka-work sila. And doon mas lumalabas yung skills or even character and personality. People, however, can also find life satisfaction in their leisure, interests, activities, and pastimes, and they can become known for these pursuits rather than for what they do at work. So, there are people naman na hanap yung life satisfaction nila in terms of leisure, like going vacation or staycation, doing their preferred activities, basta anything na makakapag-give ng relaxation sa kanila. And for that, mas nakikilala sila ng tao. So what is the connection between people's apparent search for identity and leisure? Clearly, leisure offers opportunities for self-development and creativity adventure. Yes, indeed. Because when we do leisure, dun mas nade-develop and na-enhance yung personality or even our strengths, skills, and talents as well. Economists and sociologists may tell us that we have not reached the age of leisure, but leisure is seen increasingly not just as a time to be leisurely nor as a soft option, but as offering opportunities for self-fulfillment and self-development. So economists and sociologists trying to tell us that when we do leisure, it's not all about using free time for enjoyment, but it is also the time to know ourselves more beyond our leisure needs, and it is great opportunity it is great opportunity na din talaga for us in order to grow as a person. There is an increasing body of distance runners, risk-taking extreme sports addicts, skydivers, cavers, climbers, surfers, triathletes, artists, musicians, writers and explorers, pilgrims, spiritual searchers, and seekers of stunning landscapes of beauty and wonder. They appear to be looking for worthwhile, fulfilling experiences, something beyond our current enslavement to routines of employment, possessions, television, mobile phones, and the need to be entertained. Those are the examples of people who tried to step out to their comfort zone. Dumadami na yung mga taong nahihilig sa adventures or extreme sports kasi they want to explore and to experience unique feelings and to get the best experience of their life. What are all these people searching for while giving their time and energy and sometimes risking their money, their loved ones, and even their lives? There will be a variety of personal motivations. First, the drive for success. It is a strong indicator of persistence and accomplishing what one sets out to do, whether they set their own task or are given tasks by others. People in whom this drive is strong feeling the need to succeed. Next one is the need to overcome difficulties and hardships. Lahat naman siguro na tao, isa ito sa mga personal motivations nila. But this personal motivation telling us that whatever difficulties or hardships we feel, dapat malagpasan natin ito at magpatuloy lang sa buhay. Overcoming hardships make us stronger. When facing a problem, you often wonder how you'll overcome it. After mo ma-feel lahat ng pain na yon, you gain strength and confidence that you can overcome anything. Last is the desire to be somebody. Lahat ng tao may nilulook up na successful na ibang tao and they wish na one day maging ganun din sila. One of the personal motivation is having an inspiration, inspired by others. But in contrary, this is a way to separate you from yourself. But in overall naman, it's just a personal motivation na dapat may iniidolo ka or may gusto kang sundang yapak for you to push yourself on what you want to become. Maslow says describe people's need and search for what he defined as peak experiences, brought about affirmation of our identity and confirmation of our existence. When we find ourselves in peak experience, we feel at the peak of our power, using all capacities to the best and fullest due to affirmation of identity, which is ma-recognize mo yung sarili mo, your existence, and value of one's individual self, and through confirmation of our existence on how people accept us and recognize us. Peak experiences are some of those high moments in life when one is totally immersed in an experience or activity, at one with the world and with oneself. When we say peak experience, it is a memorable moment of joy that isn't simply about the high of happiness. There is also a feeling of transcendence or spiritual connection associated with it. These experiences can serve as a turning point in your life, or just a reminder of what's important when you're bogged down by the day-to-day. Most people who report having highs in, say, music, drama, dance, and sport have usually achieved a high level of skill. Also, they are the people na super talented and really passionate about on their doings. The display of such skill is also the attractive magnet for those who watch. This is why maraming gumagaling or lumalabas yung hidden talent nila dahil dun sa mga napapanood nila through online or even on stage. They entertained. Na-attract sila doon sa napanood nila and they tend to think na, uy, kaya ko din to. Uy, baka magagawa ko din to. Something like that. Spectators and supporters can share in moments of achievement, but it is the doers who are most likely to achieve peak experiences or feelings of recreation or oneness. Yet, positive leisure can be moving also. Supporters can share achievement, for example, kapag yung iniidolo nila is may nakuha ding achievement. But the doers or yung mga taong gumagawa talaga para ma-achieve peak experience na yun is yun talaga yung nakaka-feel ng high moments in life. Many people seek self-fulfillment in a variety of ways, and leisure allows them the freedom to be or to become all they believe they are capable of. Marami talagang tao na laging naghahanap ng way para masatisfy yung sarili nila, para ma-fulfill yung leisure needs nila, and inaalaw ng leisure yung freedom na gawin nila yung preferred nilang gawin at sa kung saan talaga malalabas yung skills nila. The search for identity is important in understanding leisure behavior. It is a search for the whole person, not a split person. The idea is exemplified in the growth of spiritual and meditative movements. Some Eastern disciplines and philosophies, for example, emphasize a unification of the body, mind, and spirit through movement, meditation, and deep relaxation. In Eastern part, there are philosophies and disciplines na ine-emphasize nila yung unification ng body nila, mind and spirit, movement, meditation, and deep relaxation. And through these ways, mafulfill na nila yung needs or yung leisure needs, which is helpful din sa body and soul mind nila. With the rise of emotional distress and mental illness in the West, we have to ask the question whether, in addition to being an experienced society, we are also a sick society, and that would be analyzed in the following slides. Are we sick society? There is a general perception in the medical profession that there are more illness of the mind than of the body in Western countries. They say there are more mental health issues na na-experience ng mga nasa Western countries, maybe because of their society, yung negative impact ng society sa mga tao na nakatira doon. People suffer from a range of ills that diminish their quality of life: depression, stress, loneliness, lack of self-esteem, and, for a variety of reasons, an inability to cope with the pressure of modern-day lives. These conditions occur in all sections of the community, though some groups of people are more vulnerable and at greater risk. Nowadays, due to the pandemic, everyone are suffering in different types of depression and stress caused by the huge impact of COVID-19, which is everyone are locked down in their house, hindi sila makapagtrabaho kasi bawal lumabas, classes turn into online classes, some people find new job na hindi na nila need lumabas ng bahay. For example, yung online selling. And because of this lockdown, nag-cause ito ng stress sa ibang tao na namomroblema kung paano na sila mabubuhay, paano nila mapapakain yung family nila, knowing na wala na silang mapagkukunan. As of now, madami na ding napapabalita na nagsusuicide na students dahil di na nila matake yung online classes dahil sa hirap na rin mag-comply ng requirements due to low internet connection sa mga ibang lugar. And it is very alarming for everyone na we should provide para mabawasan yung pagkakos ng stress at depression sa mga tao. But because of our government, it all sucks. According to a press report by Chrizel, Britain's top 9 causes of stress are: number 1, unemployment. Second, money problems. Next, single parenthood, relationship problems and divorce, having a baby and infertility, retirement. Family problems such as children in trouble and sick parents, moving house, death in the family, and serious or terminal illness. The risk of depression increases with age. The more na tumatanda ka, dumadami yung pasanin mo sa buhay, dumadami yung problems na na-encounter mo. Clearly, depression results in lowering a person's self-esteem and the full of enjoyment of life enjoyed by a healthy person, such as love, friendship, adventure, creativity, sport, and enjoying the richness the world has to offer. Nilalayo tayo ng depression sa masasayang moment na pwede nating ma-feel at ma-experience. And because of that loneliness brought by depression, dumadating sa point na you wanna end your life na lang because you are no longer happy na. The result of all this is low self-esteem, which undermines all relationship and divorce. Over the years, these negative propensities become established habits. Low self-esteem is one of the major reasons why we suffer from depression. Bumababa yung self-esteem natin because of the negative thinking, yung pag-overthink natin sa bagay-bagay. And low self-esteem causes lack of confidence. And kapag wala kang confidence, hindi magiging successful kung ano man yung gagawin mo. In order to overcome your low self-esteem, you have to surround yourself with the right people who will cheer you up. And always think positive. Those positive affirmation, repeat it. A study published in the British Medical Journal, quoted by Anita Choudhury, found that there was a chronic of headache drugs which may account for as many as half the headaches suffered. In other words, headaches might be caused by taking too many headache tablets. In fact, this was proven by medical test expert. Yung akala nating medicine tablet or syrup na nagpapawala ng headache natin, ay siya din nagkakos ng paglala nito. So, to avoid severe headache, wag agad-agad huminom ng gamot pampawala nito. Hence, eat and drink water. One of the causes of human distress is our vanity. Most of us want to look attractive, but some are driven to extreme lengths to achieve their goals. Weight loss is an example, but taken to extremes, it can lead to ill health and attractiveness, quite the opposite of what was intended. Sa ngalan nga ng pagpapaganda ng katawan or muka, nagtitake tayo ng risk na may tendency na makasama sa katawan natin. Most persons na ganito is yung mga nagtitake ng improper diet. Inisip nila na once na di sila kumain sa buong araw, papayat agad sila or sexy agad sila. Which is wrong because it may lead to illness. Proper diet and proper guide from dietitian is a must. Usually, yung mga tao nagda-diet or naka-conscious sa body nila is because of the society confirmation. Kasi nowadays, ang basehan ng tao sa nasa katawan. Kapag mataba ka, madami kang judgment na matatanggap galing sa ibang tao. Mga discrimination, pag nasa public ka, and it's one of the reason kung bakit bumababa din self-esteem ng isang tao na nagkukos ng depression sa iba. What is there about living in highly advanced, rich societies that drives people to self-harm? Is it lack of self-fulfillment and low opinion of oneself? Some children, young people, and even adults feel that they have to purchase material goods to keep up with their peers and to buy prestige, friendship, and belonging. Expensive brand name goods can seemingly buy friendship and influence people. The need to conform to peer pressure is great. The mobile phone is another example. Nowadays, people are so dependent sa trends ngayon na dapat kapag may bagong labas ng phone or new trend clothes, dapat magkaroon ka ng ganun in order to accept in your community. For example, in group of friends, kapag wala kang new release ng iPhone, parang na-out of place ka. Kasi wala kang ganung gadgets sa kung anong meron yung mga tropa mo. So now, gagawa ka ng way para magka-iPhone for them to recognize you as a friend. Another one is yung sa clothes. Kapag hindi sabay sa uso yung mga sinusot mong damit, tingin ng tao sa'yo baduy or makaluma ka. They were supposed to provide freedom, independence, control, and fun. But instead, that mobile phones have enslaved us. Nilalayo tayo ng mobile phones sa old ways ng pamumuhay. Dahil ba sa new technology? Dahil andito lahat ng instances? May enjoy naman natin yung buhay without phone eh. We are emotionally dependent on them for our identity and feelings of self-worth and incapable even of going to the shops without whipping them out at regular intervals to call family and friends for advice. Many younger users regard their phones as an extension of their physical being that they rely upon to forge and maintain self-image. As I said, people nowadays are very dependent on what current trends. For example, TikTok and vlogging, which is prominent. And now, it's the easy way para din kumita. And aside from that, some social media influencers do everything they can para hindi masira image nila in social media. And nakarely na lang sila dito sa mga fans and supporters nila, sa mga viewers and such. The Henley Management Center and the research company Teleconomy found that more than a quarter of all users regard their phone as essential, with a significant minority reporting that they feel strangely detached from life if they do not have it with them or are made to turn it off. Karamihan sa mga kabataan ngayon, parang ikakamatay na nila pag hindi nahawakan ng phone or di nakagamit ng cellphone magdamag because dito lang sila kumukuha ng information about what happened in surroundings, mga issue, trends, and such. And ang tingin na nila dito is essential na kapag wala sila nito, hindi sila magbubuhay. Many say that their choice of phone is hugely important to their sense of identity as it projects their self-image. In a positive effect of using and relying on mobile phones naman, may part at times na nakikilala nila yung sarili nila through this as they project self-image. Texting and imaging have added to the allure of the mobile phone. It is early days in the life of versatile mobile phone. While on the one hand, it can empower and provide some control on our lives. On the other hand, it's used for immediacy and location. Friends suggest it is a form of control. So, madami naman talagang gamit yung mobile phone. Halos andito na lahat. All in one, kumbaga. Pero ang pinaka-function niya talaga is to connect us with our loved ones, family, and friends. Many lives are being lived in an instant society. The demand is for instant attention and action. We can obtain anything we like on credit today. A society that has to have everything quicker and faster. If you have to wait more than 5 minutes, for example, it's considered a shame and disgrace. Nowadays, we can't seem to wait until we can afford something today. We just whip out a charge card and there you have it, instant plastic money that allows you to live way beyond your means and obtain things that you would normally have to wait. The problem is when individualism degrades into self-obsession and narcissism, refusing to accept limits, or that the rewards of patient application over time cannot be reproduced in moments. It is not individualism that is destructive, but individualism lays with instantaneity and with no acknowledgement of reciprocal obligation that corrodes. Justin Cartwright called this the new infantilism. Infantilism is no longer confined to youth. Meaning to say, we are not an infant na kailangang spoon-feed lagi. Hindi na tayo bata na kapag may gusto tayong isang bagay, kabod may ibibigay na sa atin. We have to stand in ourselves. Huwag mag-rely sa ibang tao o ibang bagay. We have to do something in order to get or achieve what. Summary and conclusion. The discussion so far has illustrated that we are societies of people who strive for meaningful experiences, people who have needs for esteem and belonging. There is also a growing insistence on instant actions and immediate responses to our demands. For a variety of reasons, many of us suffer illness of body and mind. But what does all this have to do with leisure and recreation, activities which seem far removed from hardships? That would be all. Thank you for listening.